and we are live for another Biddle Saturday night. What's going on?
Good evening, everybody.
Happy St. Patty's
Day. All right, now, Barb, now you can continue your conversation.
I think I was done.
Okay.
Actually, Barb, I want to know, Barb, you were running. Who's got their sound on?
I don't know who's got their sound on.
I'm getting feedback.
I had mine just for a brief second. I shut it off.
Not me.
Well, Barb, you were running 1804, you said?
Yeah, I've been playing around with 1804. And
hello?
Is there something that nobody else is hearing or that I'm not hearing or what?
I don't hear it.
No, I'm fine now.
Barb?
What? I'm still here.
Okay.
That was weird.
That was so weird.
Oh, well, no, what happened was on the other monitor, I had, for some reason, last week's,
okay.
last week's stream. And it was like, I was like, what's going on here? I'm hearing two sets of conversations. And then I looked at it, it's like, duh.
Yeah. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
So any other problems on 1804 Mate except for Zoom?
That's it. Now that they had a major update, like I guess this morning, well, it was for me, it was this morning, it was probably yesterday. And they finally updated Firefox to version 59, and it's working perfectly. Before, it would like crash on everything.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it crashed. I was trying to read something on about Easter Island and the statues that they have. The coast is getting closer and closer to them,
right? And
it crashed. It kept crashing, and then after the update this morning, it was fine.
I've actually noticed. I've noticed a trend in Linux in the 1804s at the moment is that they're using all their welcomes as a snap app.
Oh, really?
I was watching Chris Were this morning. He was saying
I was too, man.
The welcome screen is a snap app in Ubuntu Mate, and I believe that in Ubuntu Budgie the welcome app is a snap as well. Yeah,
and I believe that.
I believe that gives them, maybe when somebody downloads the image and installs it, that welcome screen can be up to date. Is it? Is that the reason why it can be more up to date?
I don't know if it's.
I don't know if that's it.
I don't know if it's so much that it's up to date, or maybe they have future plans on distributing it somehow to other places through the snap.
Possibly, but I've not been impressed with any of the 1804 betas.
Really?
Running some of the alphas, didn't like any of those, and it was just, for me, for something that's in beta and they've only got like until the end of the next month to release it. They've got a lot of flaws to fix.
What don't you like?
They just don't seem to work. Like you just said, when you try to open up Zoom, it suddenly switches off. I've got like Discord set, and the application for Discord just opens up and it switches off again. Just disappears.
I'm sorry, I'm being swarmed.
Oh my God!
Derek, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah.
Got the sound working this time.
Mike sounding good, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't bother updating Manjaro this week, so Pulse Audio is all good.
Yeah.
Updates can be deadly.
And how are you finding that?
You're not at Solus, Derek?
Yeah, I'm running Solus on my laptop. I installed it about 5-6 days ago. It's running great. I like it. I really like Budgie on the small laptop screen.
So what do you think, does Solus being like not having every app out there, does that restrict you where you wouldn't run it? Or do you find that you have enough?
Yeah, I find I have enough for what I need. And I imagine that I could probably contact the devs. Like if I found something that wasn't packaged, I bet they would package it for you. Because I found that in a lot of cases with some of the smaller distributions, if you contact the team and tell them, hey, I really need this, most of the time they'll package it up for you.
They did with Solus, because I had asked when I was running it before. I asked about getting raw therapy on there because that's what I use for photo processing. because they didn't have it, and they within like a week it was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
so they do that. They're really responsive.
I remember when I reviewed Red Core Linux on my channel, one of the guys commented on that video that Red Core didn't have like 3 apps he needed in the repos. And the main dev actually posted in the comments in the video, hey, they're in the repos now. I just packaged them up for you. And that was within 24 hours, you know.
Oh my God.
So,
Wow.
yeah, a lot of times these guys will get what you need if you just ask them.
Oh, yeah.
politely.
You just ask nicely, and they're really good about it.
Right.
Yeah, Ikey's really good about that.
Oh,
he is open to that kind of stuff. So,
but I did look in their repos for like the stuff I use daily, like Caden Live and OBS and all that. It's all in there. So
they've come a long way with a lot of that stuff.
Yep.
Carmine,
Yes.
this is the only day I do this.
The luck of the Irish.
I have
Irish.
Irish blood in here, and all year long I tell my family.
Tony Joe, okay, man. Okay, Irish and Cubanos, man, they're good, okay?
Wait, how is it that I'm Italian yet I have more Irish than you do, Joe? Come on.
Well, I got Italian grandparents on one side, one Italian grandparent on the other, and the other one was German and Irish. So you split that in half. I got an 8th German and 8th Irish. So.
Well, here's the deal, guys. Yeah. I'm basically Russian and German, and I played the bagpipe. I was in a pipe band for 18 years.
Da, comrade.
Yeah. So how's that? The Russian in me, I like to suffer.
The Russian.
Do St. Patrick's Day parades and 20-degree weather with snow.
So vodka with some Irish cream. Awesome.
Just straight vodka. No.
That's straight, right.
Okay. My grandfather used to make it.
Well, today was my mom's birthday, so happy birthday to her. Mine is next week, but
21 again, are you?
Yeah, plus tax. Yeah, plus tax. I'll be 57, or as I say, Hawaii 57. But no.
Well, I'll be hitting the double 29s this year. So
nice.
Yeah.
No, you're always going to be 29. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
At least it was my grandfather's birthday as well today. So,
you know what? I consider myself lucky. I mean, I have people from high school friends that have not particularly aged well. I have, thank God, for whatever reason. But obviously, your health is the most important thing. So, But getting back to St. Patrick, did you know he was Italian?
Yes.
Yeah.
You did? Okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah.
And they had no snakes in Ireland. It's too cold for reptiles like that.
Okay, that part I don't know. But
yeah, supposedly the legend goes that he chased the snakes out of Ireland, but there are no snakes in Ireland because it's just too cold.
Okay.
No, well, he chased them out.
No, there weren't any there before he got there.
Well, I think what happened, all the snakes had a meeting and said, Italian and Irish, forget about it. We're out of here, pal. Yeah.
Matt, what's going on?
Not much. How you doing, Rocco?
Awesome. What are you currently working on, Matt?
What am I currently working on?
What do you
depends what you're asking as far as that, because that's a kind of a weird question.
Okay, first part of that question is, what are you currently running right at this moment?
Right now, I'm doing a stream from the Surface Pro 2.
The Microsoft Surface.
At least you're not running Windows.
He joins Big Daddy Linux live and on a Microsoft Surface.
Running Linux under Ubuntu 16.04.
Wow.
See, we're all inclusive here. This is a friendly community.
Well,
that's almost as bad. Yeah, that's almost as bad as the head of the Linux Foundation using a Mac.
I was actually going to try the 1804 beta on my old MacBook today.
Yeah.
And
so the Linux Foundation has some class. Come on, No.
So I'm back to my trusty Dell.
Rocco, what are you testing now?
Testing
it's funny you say that because I've been trying to get off of Neon for the last, not trying to, but I've been tied to it because of, the podcast and everything, trying not to mess anything up. And little bugs are working on my nerves. And I actually tried, we interviewed Daniel Foray from Elementary this week, and this past week before the show, I put Elementary on a USB, and I thought I was going to install it, and here I already had it installed on one of my other drives. I had it set up and everything. I just forgot I had it there, so I was running it. Man, that thing is beautiful, awesome.
It is.
Now, go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, it's a beautiful desktop. I mean, when you first log into it, I mean, it's really impressive. The theming and just everything about it. It looks world class.
It does. It's probably the best looking Linux desktop around.
Now the question is, Rocco, can you actually use it?
Okay, well, see, that's the thing. You would have to almost run it for a couple weeks in order to find out if it would work. You know, and what concerns me is like the 1604 base. Because there's a lot of, there's workarounds and everything, but there are times where the 1604 base catches up with you when you want to run the latest stuff.
And the other problem is there's two types of Linux users. There's somebody like me. I use the stock desktop, how it comes. I don't tweak anything. And then there's you, Rocco. You like to fiddle with everything, the window decorations, the icon. You're not going to be able to do that in Pantheon. You can't. You're not going to be able to change much.
Not only that, get out your long scroll of your sudo app install.
Well, don't you have you can't
wait? Ryan made a script. He put together a script from somebody else, and he put it together. And this script is really, really good, man. And it installs. What it does is it brings up a little box where you can make check boxes for the programs you want to install, and you run it, and boom, it installs all these all at once, and it works really good on Elementary. So. Getting the programs, I don't think would be a problem.
Yeah, but isn't it hard? Don't you have to like tweak something or screw around with something to get it to install stuff from the PPAs?
Yeah, that's what the script does.
Oh, okay. Because that would be to me, because some of the stuff I use, I have to get from a PPA, or I have to download it from a particular the place's website, the developer's website, and then install it from there. And I don't know if you can do that with Elementary.
Yeah, you can. It's a very simple one-line command about installing something common. It's literally one command, and it opens up the PPAs.
Yep.
If you use Debbie's, just install Gadebi.
Oh, yeah. There's about 10 things. 10 things.
Sorry, English Bob did a video, and he's got about 6 commands at the bottom that completely opens up Elementary to do all of the normal stuff you'd want to do. But as Derek said, the only thing you can't then do is mess with Pantheon.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to change the themes and very difficult to change bits and pieces.
Yes, if your theme is so beautiful, you may not want to switch.
Rocco, you will find that one pixel that is all.
I know.
Yeah.
No, you know what it is. I could run it for probably a month or two, and maybe I don't even know if that long, but I could probably run it for a little bit and be perfectly fine with the theme. But at some point, I'm going to want to change the theme, and it's not going to look as near as good as it does. It's going to be brought down to a level of every other distro, and then it's kind of like,
Then you may as well use what you like.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I usually stick with one theme with the Ubuntu Mate. Once I have everything working, I might do the panel switcher, Ubuntu Mate for something different. But once I got a theme or color, it's the last thing on my mind because everything works. I'm afraid I'll break something, But yeah.
It's like with KDE, on KDE, I use the Breeze theme, the default Breeze theme. I never change it, I might go to the dark theme, but the Breeze dark, but I never install extra themes. I just go with what's already there.
Yeah, I don't have any on the Ubuntu Mate and even on the Gecko version. I don't have extra themes. I think I just I select Blue Submarine. I don't know why, but I like that one. Because it's got dark, it's got dark headers and stuff like that. I like it.
Isn't that a Beatles? We all live in the...
That's Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, sorry, okay.
Sorry, wrong color.
Wrong kind of submarine too.
Yeah, they've got green and blue in the Mate themes.
Dating
and that's what I
himself
use on all my versions of Mate.
Well, I've used the Blue Submarine theme, but not the whole theme. Like, I'll take the controls from there and not use the window decorations, something else, because it doesn't have bad colors. So,
Yeah, no, it does. And the only thing that I do is I switch the window controls from the right to the left.
Yes. Well, that's why I have them on KD Neon. I have my controls on the left. So, well,
yeah, I
my
like it
X
better.
on the left, my close on the left.
So you'll be telling us you single click next?
No.
I do.
I will not use single click.
I do.
I know you're the only one who
Can
does.
anybody verify? Because I'm almost 100% positive that Elementary is a single click on default.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I've got single click on here.
And you have to tweaks to turn it off.
I just don't. Okay, I know it's like it's been that way forever that you double click, but I don't know why you'd want to double click when you can single click. I don't understand that.
The only time it gets to be a hassle is when you want to grab a bunch of files, but after you get used to it, you just click on the first one, you hit shift and go, and boom, you're done.
Sometimes
that's why I wouldn't like that.
If you click on the first one, you've opened it.
Yeah.
No, you got to shift.
Why don't ever click on it if I don't want to open it? Why would I click on it if I don't want to open it?
If you want to copy it or move it to someplace else, or just copy
I right click
it
on
and
it.
back up.
I right click on it.
Well,
Control A to select all.
I know. You right click on the file or the folder.
You just put single click and drag.
I prefer to exercise my fingers.
Shift and go.
Ryan,
think about it. If you were using a 2-click system, like you said, you'd normally would you'd have to click on it, then you'd have to hit shift. You still have a 2-step process. So all I do is hit control, click, and then I hit shift and grab what I want.
Or I just click and hold it down.
That's the only thing. That's the only extra work and you're going to have to do two steps, even under a 2-click system. So.
Just copy them in the terminal. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Welcome to Big Daddy clicking night.
Just make sure you get that path name.
30-minute conversation.
Hey, this show is clicking. Haha.
I would like to see Elementary.
Michael's excuse for not ending his stream as early as you wanted today is he got in the rabbit hole of talking 30 minutes about the single click, right? Is that?
Yeah, because I was editing Destination Linux at the time, and I had put him on mute. And right as I was about to leave the stream, I unmuted him, and he's saying, "There's no other DE besides KDE Neon that has single click on by default, and they should never have it on." I think to myself, Elementary has it on.
So did Tux do another 4-hour stream today?
Can you turn that off in Elementary? Is the question.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say I'm sure you can, but I would think
because that would be enough
could.
to. Also, have they fixed the last time I tried it was maybe 6-8 months ago. In fact, I'm going to download it and just throw it on a different machine.
You should, because it's really nice looking.
Yeah, just to see how it is. Maybe it's really good for like when I'm going someplace and taking one of my laptops with me, and I don't have to worry,
Well, maybe if you put that on your laptop, maybe they wouldn't know the difference between that and.
Put that on my old Mac. Yeah, I can do that.
You'd be a hit at the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's really funny when I go to Barnes & Noble in the cafe and I brought that old Mac and people walk by because I've got Ubuntu on it and they kind of like look at it like they don't want to say anything, but they know there's something wrong. It doesn't look like Mac OS.
I should take my Ubuntu to the new Brooklyn Bagel
shop
here in town and see what people say. And I'm like, what, you looking at me? You looking at me?
It's interesting. I substitute teach, and one day when I was teaching, I always bring my laptop, and I have the Dell XPS 13. It's like under 3 pounds. It's light. It's whatever, and it lasts pretty much all day for what I do. And one kid looked. He goes, "You're running Ubuntu." He went nuts. Out of all the kids I've taught over the years, that's the first one who actually responded. He
Barb,
just thought
you're
a
star.
Great.
A star is born.
Yeah, and he was like, so we were talking about it for a while, and it was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said that to me. Carm, you're running Ubuntu. It just doesn't happen. They're like, huh? What?
Well, she's converting them one kid at a time.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Yep. I used to ask people at work, about Linux, and they'd just look at you like, what?
My friends glaze over.
I had one guy that said to me he knew what it was, and man, do you still have to install that thing with a terminal? And I'm like,
Well, back then,
this in years.
See, we need stars for spokespeople for Linux, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I do won't do it's fantastic, you know. But that's what we need.
Yeah, do it now.
Well, I told you when I went for the iPhone at the Apple store, there were 3 employees there and waiting an hour, and all of a sudden 6 walk off a break and come out. And when they finally got to us, I started talking about Linux, and all of a sudden 3 of them stopped with their customers, turned around, and we all jumped in and started the conversation.
Nice.
Yeah. I have 3 people at work running Linux, actually. I've converted.
Really?
Yep, and another guy came to me and said, I want what you put on there on this one. So,
that's awesome, God.
Whatever's on this, put it on.
Because one guy's running a tablet with, and they're all running Linux Mint Cinnamon, because that's what I started with, so that's what they'll continue with. But one, he's got a Cinnamon on a tablet. Another one's got Cinnamon on an all-in-one desktop. Now he's got Cinnamon on a laptop, and another guy's running on his little, I think it's an Acer EPC, those small ones. He's running, he's running MX16 on that, and no problems at all.
You know, I mentioned the problems on MX on this. I'm wondering, I switched it over to UEFI. I wonder if that had anything to do with some of my, because I noticed when I go to dual boot back into Mate, I'll get a message now that wasn't there before. It'll pop up and say, I can't find the UEFI database. Even though they're 2 separate drives, it's bizarre on the grub loader.
Oh.
And it's got nothing. It's actually got nothing to do with Mate. It just is, you know, the MX17 is loaded up with UEFI, and this one isn't. But it really, unless that's a conflict because it's using the same grub.
I don't know enough of a difference between the 2 of them. I just know which one I prefer, and I also know that virtually every single distro uses them differently. There seems to be no continuity. I mean, I can load up ArchMerge and go to run my Peppermint distribution, and it goes, you need a kernel before you can load this up. I then load up MX17 and go to load up exactly the same Peppermint distribution, and it works. So what are they doing differently? Why are they seeing it differently? You know, your UUID of where your image is surely the same. So that's the thing that confuses me the most. It's meant to be a standard.
Dolphin's in the chat, so I just wanted to see that. I haven't abandoned it totally. I love it on the laptop. It works perfect on the laptop. I've got Peppermint and MX17 on here, and I may even try Elementary on it now that you're piquing my interest with it. But
look, I'm going to say this, that everybody should at least try Elementary. I'm not saying, you know, it may not be for you. You may not be able to customize it, you know, whatever. But you should at least try it because it really is nice.
It is clean out of the box. I will say it is.
As long as it can see my file server, because the last time I tried it, which I said it was like 6-8 months ago, it couldn't see my file server and it wouldn't see my HP printer, which was really weird.
The printer, I had the same problem with my printer. I was running it on this laptop here. I could not get the printer installed. I was trying to download these files, and that's when I was telling you, Rocco, it said, you need to install libtool. Libtool was installed. You need to install libtool. And I said, I've had a gutful. I'm done.
Right.
Because it's not caught up. Like I think Matt said, I think it was you, Matt, said they haven't caught up with the 1604. It's based on 1604. So
yeah, it's a version dependency kind of problem. It's
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because
they don't have the driverless printing that 1710 has.
Yeah, but when I originally installed 1604 on the same, you know, Ubuntu 1604 Mate, it saw the printer perfectly. I haven't had a problem with Ubuntu seeing printers since maybe 1210 or something. I didn't have to screw around with it.
I use HP. I've had the best luck with HP because I download the HP tools.
Yep.
No problem.
It just works in line.
Yes, except for KDE Neon, then it doesn't really work. Because I tried.
That's KDE Neon's problem.
Like my HP printers.
Which is one of the problems I have with KDE Neon right now, that I can't get my printer installed.
Solus would install it. It would see it, but when I try to scan something, then the whole printer disappeared.
Yeah, see, I've never had problems with the printer, even the Brother one I've got, but the scanner, I downloaded directly from Brother, loaded everything up, and it would work for the scanner would work for a period, and it would stop. But the printer always. It's a cups installer, or driver, so it should work fine.
Yeah, with Gecko Linux, I don't have any problems either.
Yeah.
There's one trick that none of you have used yet, though.
What?
You never, ever have printer problems.
Localhost 631.
No, take your printing to work.
I can't do that.
Yeah, it's a Windows machine over there, right?
They've got some fantastic color printers at work.
Yeah, I know, but they're at work, so
right.
And I'm not right now, so.
Well, you know, Rocco, I just did a search on DistroWatch. If you want other Debian-based distros that have KDE, there's 27 currently listed on DistroWatch. So
yeah, here's the thing: none of them are okay. So when you narrow it down to Ubuntu-based, which is where I want to stay,
all right,
and then you narrow it down to what Plasma version they have. There's really very few that are up to date that you could have a decent version of Plasma.
Well,
and
what
still
about
be
backports?
Ubuntu-based.
I mean, backports takes care of all that.
Well, that would take care of it right now. Well, I mean, okay, so Kubuntu has 5.12, which is the latest. Or is it 5.13? What am I on? 5.13 or 5.12? But they have the latest right now. But they will end up, lagging behind as Plasma updates.
But 5.12 is what Plasma considers their LTS release. So maybe you should get on that.
Apparently, according to Michael, who knows just about everything about Linux, he says that they're going away from the LTS
that's unfortunate.
Statement of Plasma. So it's just going to be.
So what are they going to use?
This would, from what I understand from him, this will be the last Plasma version that's considered LTS. The rest is just going to be a continual thing.
So rolling release.
Yeah.
Well, what about?
I am so glad I no longer distro hop. Thank God. Keep my sanity.
I don't. I honestly, I've got my two. I mean, I'm going to play around with elementary just to see.
I have my spare machines to test, like Ubuntu 1804, but for main machine, Ubuntu Mate, it just works. It ain't fancy, but I am cool with that.
Yeah, but you miss all the drama. You miss all the drama doing that.
Yeah, but you get to do other things and sit there and curse and swear at your computer because things don't work.
Yeah,
I'd rather have it work and be able to be productive.
But isn't that what you use Linux for?
What? I can be productive.
If you haven't had a kernel panic, on your main production machine, you're not doing it right.
You're exactly right. You just ain't doing it right.
You guys are freaking
nuts. I've had kernel panics on my Mac more than I've had on Ubuntu.
My Linux Mint Mate before this is what I had one, and that's what made me finally come back over to Ubuntu Mate, and I've been on this service.
That's what you call living the dream. Having the kernel panic on the main machine when you got a deadline.
Oh, I love that.
Just to have
I've been through that before years ago, but not anymore.
Yeah, I can't remember when the last time I had one with Ubuntu.
I remember seeing it, and I did use choice for New York Italian words to curse. I do remember.
I've had kernel panics on my Mac, and then I swear.
I don't know any of those.
We don't need kernel panics. We just panic when we're.
We just have panics.
We just have
panic attacks anyway. I don't need my computer to do that. I don't need my computer.
Okay, my Facebook Live started acting up on here. Should I panic now or not?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm hoping, Rocco, speaking of elementary, I'm hoping that the new Elementary 5 at least has menu opens with super key by default would be a good thing.
It doesn't.
It won't. It won't. You'll have to listen to the episode.
Yeah. I thought
because
somebody said that. Yes.
He doesn't mention that specifically, but he mentions what the super key will be doing.
What will be doing?
You'll have to listen to the episode.
We'll have to listen to it when on Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Super key. That's the reboot key to boot into Windows, isn't it? No.
So he does mention what that'll be doing. I didn't even think to ask him about it before the episode, I did. I thought about asking about the super key because I noticed you couldn't use it. But then when the episode hit and we were asking all the questions, I didn't remember to ask them.
Yeah. And you can't put the panel down the bottom either. That's annoying as well. That should be just one simple thing.
Why would you want to do that, Colin?
Can you put the dock on the left? That's it. My other question, because I can even do that with my Mac. I can stick the dock on my left.
No.
Which I like.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah,
you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's basically it's a is it plank or is it docky?
Plank. Is it docky or plank?
It's plank.
Well,
it's plank. I think
plank, but plank was forked from docky, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of the original developers of Docky, so Daniel Foray was. So.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said I don't know if it's actual plank, or the Docky version of it.
I think
it doesn't really matter. They're pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, I am downloading Elementary, and it's taking like forever.
I just got done downloading.
Pick up that server.
It's taking it's going to be an hour and 17 minutes.
You shouldn't be downloading while you're on a live stream.
Why not? I have up to 100 megabits.
Okay.
I was going to say, and Rocco, where's Chicken? He should be on here. He is the Elementary user.
Right.
I
He's
know.
the one who put Elementary on all his machines.
He did.
He did.
Make sure you
put it on a separate partition.
That's why he's not fair.
Make sure you download that with a torrent. That way you're seeding and you're helping the next guy.
Right. I should have done that, but I don't think they have that.
There he is.
Mr. Tennell.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Where is he?
Michael.
Oh. Hi, Michael.
Michael.
I don't know how long you've been waiting.
Best response.
I thought you meant chicken.
Oh, okay.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
Michael, what were we just talking? We were just talking about you
Elementary.
for what?
Naturally.
Single click. What?
His 4 hours.
Single click versus double click.
Oh
No,
double click's better.
No.
See, thank you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
And
Hey,
You're
guess
in the
what?
minority.
It don't matter what you think.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
That was my very bad rock impression.
Mm-hmm.
I call Michael's channel now in Italian Tux Digital. Tux
Digitali.
Digitali.
I downloaded Go Budgie today. I've been trying to download that thing for ages, and it's 3.2 gigabytes in size. But it's got the Budgie desktop. But what I like about it is it's got the Slings Cold menu on it, which I quite like that thing. But I thought that was out of development, Slings Cold.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
So they must have updated it. They must have tweaked it themselves,
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it still works, but it's not actively developed, I don't think.
No, I tried downloading it and it said that it was out of development. I think it was out of development. I'm not sure. Can't remember.
Something fall out of development that's GNOME based? No.
Okay, so I'm on Neon, right? So I got 3 choices that I am considering right now to go to, and that's Elementary,
That looks better.
regular Ubuntu with GNOME, or Ubuntu Budgie. So what do you guys think?
Go with Budgie.
From what I've heard, Ubuntu Budgie, yeah.
Budgie.
Ubuntu 18.
Budgie. Did you check out their new themes, Rocco? I think what's his name was asking you.
Yeah, Dustin was asking me to check them out. No, I haven't checked them out yet because I haven't had time to. So,
Because you haven't run Budgie for a while, have you? Like, was Solus the last time you run Budgie, was it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Is
for
there
all
new
that
thing-
day commitment that he made for running Solus for a year.
Look, that wasn't even a commitment, dude. You didn't even make it till New Year's, so you can't even consider that a commitment.
We allowed you to restart.
See?
And you still didn't
Remember?
another one.
He took a mulligan.
Yeah, exactly. But Matt keeps bringing it up,
That's because you're the person who said you went distro hop all year.
Okay, I brought it on myself. I know.
I said I had a New Year's resolution to distro hop, and I have not done so.
So you broke your resolution too.
No.
Yeah.
I still have a whole year left.
Oh, okay, all right.
He could move one distro and it's still completely.
It's still technically true. I have other things installed. I just haven't used them for more than like 10 minutes.
Well, Rocco, I've got the same dilemma because I'm about to wipe out Manjaro here on my main system, and I've decided to go back to Debian for a little while. I'm thinking either MX or Antics, but I'm not sure which one I want to go with. So,
if you want something a bit more modern looking, go MX. If you want to go retro, go Antics, because I know Antics really does play to the older machine and sort of like boots up in something stupid like 300 mega RAM or something. It's really, really.
Oh,
well.
Yeah. Speaking of modern, that is a fantastic sweatshirt, Zeb.
Oh, really? What this?
Because Linux really is everywhere.
Wait, you've only been in the stream 12 minutes?
It took me 12 minutes to say something about it. Wow. I'm losing my edge. It should have been maybe 12 seconds.
I was going to say, your shameless self-promoting and plugging is getting bad, Michael.
Whoa. That implies that shamelessness is a bad thing in general.
No. I meant your timing for it. Your timing for it.
It's even better. Modern. It's a good logo. It's a modern version of Tux. You're welcome.
Yeah. My other monitor is for Big Daddy. So
there you go.
It's a combination. I like it.
Well, Derek, I can't say that I've tried Antics. Although I had the ISO downloaded to try it one time, but I never did get to try it. But
you'll love it. You'll love it if you like minimal window managers like Fluxbox and IceWM and all that. It's great. It's fantastic. Well, but I know MX, you like KDE, so
yeah, MX is pretty good. So.
Yeah.
I was watching Dolphin do a few things on Antics on one of his videos. You can do. I just got lost with what he was doing, but there's so many things you can do with that distro.
Yeah,
it's got so many options.
What's really neat about Antics too is it's one of the few Debian-based distros I've seen that will let you choose whether you want to do stable testing or unstable. So, and I'd probably go stable on my machine, but.
So what makes it different? I just went to their page. What makes it different than any other Ubuntu-based distro?
It's Debian-based.
It's Debian-based, yeah.
Debian,
so
okay.
The biggest difference between Debian's stable bit version and Ubuntu is that it's older than Ubuntu version.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's basically. They're the same package manager, same repositories. It's just like the stuff that's made specifically for Ubuntu is not going to be available. PPAs are not available. So like you're limited to just the Debian repositories, but there are like 10,000 packages in that repository, so you're not limited much.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to install snaps on it anyway, so.
And you can normally find a .deb file to run if you've got a particular app that you need, Barbara. So just find that.
You can do the, okay.
Go to that developer site and grab a .deb file, which is bound to have.
I used to use Antics on like version 11, I think.
Because I think they said it's 17 now. Yep.
So how does that work with, well, I don't know, maybe not how does it work, but what have you guys experienced with it? Because like I was talking about being on 1604 and having certain issues with wanting to run modern things because you couldn't do it in 1604. And I would assume that Debian is the same situation, even more so. So do you run into that kind of problem with Debian?
You do, but you've got options because you have the testing and unstable repos. If you want to go rolling, they're there for you. So I mean,
and they're the rolling or the up to date.
Oh yeah. If you go Debian unstable, if you go Debian unstable, you're rolling along just like you run Arch or whatever.
Well, the MX that's based on stable, right? On
consistently updated.
And when you're talking Debian as well, you've got to forget what you understand as being stable, unstable, and testing. Yeah, because even testing is a darn sight more stable than virtually anything else out there because it's so
it is
solid base. There's absolutely no problem running Debian testing at all. You'd be running a bit edgy if you go to SID, which is the unstable, but running Debian testing, no problems at all. And you will be maybe one or two versions behind that.
I was going to say testing tends to be more of a happy medium for people who want more up-to-date stuff without the lag of what a stable release is and the unstable version of unstable.
So to be clear, Debian does not. Debian specifically suggests do not run Debian testing as your main platform because it's not designed for that.
I don't know if they say that on the Debian website anywhere, but I know if you go to like their forums and you try to get help, like you're running Debian Unstable, there's not that many people really running Debian Unstable. That's not what people run Debian for. So you may have problems like when you run Arch or Gentoo. Everybody that runs Arch and Gentoo is on the rolling release. You're going to get help, but.
Well, I'm saying the reason why is because Debian testing is not intended to be ran by as a base.
Right.
It's being ran as a foundation for other distros, but not. You're supposed to use Debian Stable with testing packages, but not switch all of Debian Stable to testing. So if you're going to want to update your system, you need to go from stable to unstable because that's where everything rolls. Whereas testing things don't. Not everything rolls like in unstable. So you have this weird. Like it's kind of like a purgatory where some things are rolling enough where it's useful, and there's other things that are not rolling so that they can break when you have other rolling. So that's why testing is more useful for Ubuntu and other distros to base on.
So it's meant to be used with Tylenol. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, Debian. Ubuntu uses the testing branch for its interim releases. It uses the stable, I think, for the LTS.
So Prophetic wants to know if you could go Debian Stable but run, say, unstable LibreOffice, like pick and choose apps.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, of course you can.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is and what dependency are. But
I wouldn't do it. No.
You could run into some dependency hell trying to play around with the repos like that, though.
Well, see, that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to, I wouldn't want to go to a Debian and have the same issues that I was having on 1604, which is the only reason why I'm not right now running elementary. I don't know because I don't want to switch it to my main machine and then have the same, a week down the road have the same issues I had with when I was running Ubuntu 1604, where I wanted to do certain things that I couldn't do because it wasn't updated with it.
Well, you just run SID. Yeah, just do Debian Unstable and you'll be rolling just like, on any kind of Arch system. You'll always have the latest packages. You'll run it for about 2 months, and then it'll horribly break on you, and then you'll install something else.
So that sounds just like Arch. I mean,
2 months, that'll be a dream for Rocco.
Zeb, how dare you?
I was going to say 2 months.
Used to already, right?
2 months would be good for you, Rocco.
It's totally true. I mean, still, crying out loud.
I think that
Who's
becomes
making the weird noise?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that becomes a bit of an issue for all of us, isn't it? When we're running something and it's working, we're thinking in the back of our minds, break, please break. Please something go wrong.
Well, we're all looking for this unicorn, this rolling release distro that at the same time is just as stable as Debian or CentOS, and it doesn't exist. You got to choose one or the other,
Well, that's the funniest thing about distro hopping is because you can distro hop to this one to say KDE and it looks great and it's awesome and it works great. But there's always going to be those one or two things that drive you insane. So then you switch to GNOME and the same thing happens. Yeah, exactly. GNOME. But anyway, you switch to it and you GNOME and one or two things drive you crazy, and then you switch to the next one because there's not a perfect distro out there. I mean, there's just not. It's not. There are great distros, even as stable as Ubuntu Mate is. There's a reason why I'm switching to something else. Because it just works and it's awesome, but there's just lacking certain things, and
it's boring.
Well, okay, it's maybe a little bit boring.
There are some annoying things, like when you install Steam, and it has an installer built into it for the Ubuntu Mate Welcome. When you run it, the icon for Steam is massive and cropped, and like for no apparent reason. It's like just fix that.
Well, like I have Spider Oak on there, and the icon on it is like ginormous. It's like it's ridiculous. It's like, what
if you're gonna have an installer that installs the package, just replace the icon it uses and make it whatever. It's just kind of weird that there's things that happen in every distro that are like that, and I'm not saying that what I use doesn't have that, because it's glaring, and I replace a ton of stuff to make it reasonable. But there are distros that are completely perfect, like Hannah Montana Linux. So
yeah, you're right.
Rebecca Black Linux and
that little cockroach. No, but
Yeah, but everything's going to have something. Everything. It doesn't matter which one you try. So you just got to pick what's the least of the worst of it.
Yeah, but you just complained about aesthetic problems in Ubuntu Mate. Didn't you? Not functional.
Well, that's why I said elementary. I think would be good for me, because even though there might be issues, it's just stinking beautiful. I mean,
aesthetically, it's not going to be that one pixel off for him.
I'm telling you.
Well, until you install a different application that doesn't have an icon, then that's just going to make you go crazy.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I've done that where I was using it for a little while, and then it's like I installed, like, oh, that's bad. Like that, like it's great if you don't change anything, but as soon as you start adding things, and it's like, it doesn't work that well. Like, but it's only the icon thing. It's just like a theming issue.
Well, we need to get Eric Dubois on that then, and say to him, look, go and make a Sardi set for elementary, and because you know that he'll have virtually every other icon that should be there. And if you've got a piece of software that you use and you want a good icon for it, just drop Eric a line and he'll bet later.
There are nice icons inside of it.
Like, wow, thanks, Eric.
I do like the Sardi set. It's actually really nice. So Zed, are you saying we should just point him to the AUR and say anything that's an application we need?
I'll tell you what, we need about 30 seconds. I mean, the guy's a machine. I think I haven't looked recently, but the last time I looked, he was up to like 327 YouTube tutorials on how to use Arch Merge stroke Arco. He's just ridiculously quick.
Yeah, he's making like 6 videos a day. He's a machine. He's Superman.
Yeah. How long are the videos?
They're shorter videos, but they're not super short. I mean, they're a few minutes a piece.
But they're succinct and to the point, and you do learn an awful lot about them.
You do.
I mean, one of the biggest tips he gave recently was he showed you just an Arch, edit one file, and if you've got a multi-processor, because by default, when you compile from the Arch, you're only using one of your processors. So if, like me, you're sitting there with an i7 and 8 processors, 7 of them are sitting there doing nothing while you're, I don't know, installing Google Chrome. Tweak one little file that he talks about and then put up HTOP, and all of a sudden all 8 processors are sitting there at 95%, and the installs are minutes quicker in some cases. So yeah, he gives some good stuff and it's easy to follow.
Nice. So make content consistently.
Kind of like showing up on time.
Yeah.
Never gonna happen, Michael. Forget it, mate.
And to do that, I guess make it shorter, and you can do that. I've noticed Toss has been doing that a lot lately. He's making like these 1 minute, 2 minute little clips, and they're great. I mean, he just hits you with something interesting.
Yeah, it's the daily tech briefs.
I like that.
Just to keep it versus doing, because I used to do like on the weekend a longer, but it's like because sometimes it hits that day, and maybe I'll forget it for the weekend.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to sit down for an hour and record something, so that's great that you just hit them with 2 minutes of solid information.
Yeah, it was funny you mentioned, because I got the idea from listening to my Alexa in the morning for the news, and I kind of like it, just blip blip blip, and then but yeah, DTB Daily Tech Brief. So some of the folks
see, where else can you go in the tech world and get under 4 minutes, over 4 hours?
Yeah.
There you go.
Say, only on Big Daddy Live.
Who's the 4 hours? That's ridiculous. Who would do that?
No, there is one out there. I saw it the other day. There's somebody who has like these 4-hour deals.
Sudo reboot. He did a 5 hour. He does like 4 or 5 hour streams all the time. Yeah, every time he does a stream.
Well, there you go. We got a UK version and an American version.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, Michael.
It's really 4. I mean, here we are with 12 folks, and what we do here, 2 hours?
He said 6 hours. My longest is only like 9. That's not. That doesn't.
See? Exactly.
That's not over the top. That's just like
what in the world would possess you to stream for 9 hours?
But the best part is he has people sit there for 9 hours or 4 hours. I sat there for 4 hours today.
Getting sidetracked. It's an easy thing.
Well, it's funny
because I run out of something to say, right?
Today, I never run out of something to say. Yeah.
At least he admits it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Like, yeah, I've gone. I was basically when I was at like the 5th hour. I was like, I wonder how long I could go without losing like.
I suppose you can
interest.
distro hop in 4 hours. And
Did you at least take a break or not?
No break. No.
Now, that would be really cool, though.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that for New Year's Eve. I think I'm going to do a 24-hour stream to ring in the new year. See if I can go 24.
Once I got to the 9th hour, I was like, I could probably go a couple more, but I think I've proven I can do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and go.
Well, see, all you have to do is something like this. You get 12 people or 16 people in there. Then you got like the Jerry Lewis telethon or something.
Yeah, just rotate it.
Yeah. If you need to, take a nap, whatever.
Yep.
Well, take a nap on cam, otherwise.
Just get Stuart, Langridge, Michael, Ike, and my memory is going really bad. Who's the Mate guy?
Martin Wimpress.
Martin Wimpress.
Just get 4 of them on a Zoom meeting and let them go.
I was going to say, Ike, between Michael and Ike, there's your conversation right there.
Yeah, so it'd be like after 4 hours, boy, this is a really exciting.
Hey, you're making me yawn.
Yeah, I know. It's contagious.
Carmine, then you turn into this where everybody's introducing their mascots. I found this one in the closet there.
Oh my gosh.
Looks like
Tigger. Here's mine.
Is that Tigger?
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
Buster.
I don't know if you heard of my
Oh, you just dropped my mouse.
I had one
Here's my mascot.
Here's mine.
Don't do Fluffy.
One of them.
Yeah.
I'll find it later.
Fluffy, the backup drive.
This is about as fluffy as I get.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Derek, I didn't get to watch it yet, your video on the road stand, but what do you think?
No, I like it. Is that what you're using?
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's very sturdy, and it's there's no play in it when you get it set. So,
Use it for your webcam.
That's what I've got.
It's for your mic.
Oh, for the mic.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, the mic arm.
Eric,
yeah, the scissor arm. Yeah.
The cable that came with it, you weren't happy with it, right?
It didn't actually come with the stand. It's the cable that comes with the Blue Yeti.
Yeah.
That thing
I thought
was horrible.
about those, but the headset mic seems to work just as fine. So anyway,
yeah, the USB to the micro USB that plugs into the Yeti, it was shorting out on me. The microphone was not powering up, so I don't know why they ship such a cheap mic cord
I
with
can tell
it.
you what it is. It's actually the plug inside the the Blue Yeti.
Yeah, the little port. Yeah,
the mini USB itself is actually loose because I have the same problem with mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the same as my one as well. My owner mic. It's as if the port is too big on the actual microphone itself. Yeah. And
is that where you were getting that static from that time, Zeb, when you were having problems just about a week or two ago with the static on one of your streams? You were complaining about?
No, that was using my old mic with an old XML cable and not having a power supply for it, just trying to run it off of USB. So you get a constant zzz in the background. So
you're absolutely right about the port. It's a little too big for the plug. There's too much play in it. Yep.
Yeah, other than that, the mic is good itself. It's the cord that's terrible.
Yeah. I just need to go to Best Buy and buy a new cord. So, because it still will short out on me if I start moving the scissor arm and the cord pulls around a little bit. This is going to power off, and then I'm going to have to play with it for 5 minutes to try to wiggle the cord in the right spot to get it to power back on. So.
It's no good.
Yep.
But the Rode stand is the only one that would hold the Blue Yeti that I looked at.
Yeah, because the Yeti's like 3.5 pounds or something crazy.
It's ridiculous, dude. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Sorry, Carl. We're too busy chatting. Missed you in the waiting room.
Carl, you the man.
What's up, Carl?
Yeah, no, nothing on the mic.
Yeah, he's micless at the moment.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Hey, we can't hear you, Carl.
Bottom left corner or your settings, yeah.
So someone was saying you can tweak. Where was it? Where was it on the chat? Someone said that mic USB port can be modded to perform better. I wonder what Tanji means by that. How can you mod a USB port? If it's too big, it's too big.
Replace it.
Yeah, you can replace it, but you have to have a soldering iron. You have to know what you're doing with that. I mean, it's not something most people are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
£100 mic, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, it's not something I'm going to do.
Tear apart the mic.
Yeah, I'm not about to tear apart a $130 microphone and you know, I'll just send it back to Blue if it comes to that. So
yeah,
we'll get a bit of blue tack and put it in one end and then show it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm in the same boat as you, Derek. Like, I've had the Blue, I think, since it came out, the Blue Yeti since it came out, and that mic USB cable has always been an issue through every iteration I've heard.
And I noticed on mine the micro USB, the plug-in, the male plug-in was actually kind of bent.
Yeah.
So and I've never played with that cord. I mean, it's always set on my stand. I've never adjusted it. So I think they shipped me one that was bent up, out of the box. So,
well, I was going to say, because I'm in the same boat, because I ended up picking up a Marantz USB microphone set because my Blue's starting to, like, every USB port on it's just it's killed. Like it's on its last legs.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they probably outsource the making of that cord, to China or something, save a few bucks. So
yeah,
that's going to be what that is. Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at my Yeti here and like design of this thing here. Like if you have a look at that, when you tilt this, that cord's going to hit that bracket. So that
might have been it.
The reason why.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you don't move that, it should be all right. But I found that a bit strange when I first got that it was designed that way. So
shouldn't it be tilted the other way though?
That's exactly the same as you've got the USB port on the bottom.
Yeah.
And as soon as you move the mic, it bends.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so dumb.
So, hang on a minute. You've just sent me £100 mic. Why not have an extra inch at the bottom?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's
Or
right.
have it in the back or something.
Just for giggles, I went on Amazon site just to take a look and see, and there's 10 one-star reviews right off the bat that every single one of them complains about exactly what you're talking about. Either cutting in and out or static after a while or whatever if they move it around.
Yeah, the hiss.
There's got to, so that if that's the case, I can't believe that they wouldn't know about it.
You would think that they would have fixed it by now.
And it's such an easy fix.
Right.
Forever.
Yeah, it may be an easy fix, but it might be an expensive fix if they're going to do it for everything. So they might, it's just
maybe
like
they need to get a new batch of ports.
Yeah, but I think it's the same thing with mics as far as the cord as it is with like say a gaming headset with a mic.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find a good gaming headset that has a good mic. It just doesn't happen. That's where they cut the corner. So they can save money, so they can lower it just enough for you to buy it, so.
Yeah, if they put a new USB port, or a new cord, it would skyrocket the price a few bucks. So.
Yep.
Well, I was gonna say, just look at the combo XLR and USB Blue Yeti. I mean, what is it, like $270 or something?
Yeah, the Pro version. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's just changing a port.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little more than that, but
what?
Somewhat.
Yeah, the basic.
Says Michael with a $5 Guitar Hero microphone that works brilliantly.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. To be fair, $15. Thank you.
$15. Sorry.
And Rocco got it cheap for $15.
Yeah, I got it cheaper.
He got lucky. And to be fair, the brand is important. It's a Rock Band mic. So
there's a difference.
There's a difference because there's like a different logo on it, and if you look at them, they're basically the same thing. But this one has a better logo. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? $20, no logo, yeah.
Well, you can't see the logo; it's facing me, so it's basically not there. That's my logic.
Yeah, but even like this headset, this is a HyperX Cloud headset, and the mic on it is just terrible. I mean, when I
gaming
started
headsets
doing
all have
videos,
mics.
oh my gosh, like I could not get the microphone loud enough to make a video. Like I made videos and everybody complained that I was too low, but there was nothing I could do. And well, that's why I ended up getting the Yeti, because
I use this with the USB adapter, 1/8 inch to this. This actually makes a big difference. I couldn't believe it. First, I wasted my money, but my watchers, viewers say, "No, man, you sound good." How much was that? How much is it? Like $100? No, it was $20. But you never know. Sometimes
it's the same thing with webcams. You can buy a fantastic webcam, but the microphone on the webcam is just going to be total garbage. So.
Well, that's true. The Logitech 920, the $100 webcam, the microphones, they totally suck. The $30 I'm using now, it's a 720 now, but the mic is unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, really, Logitech, really?
And I bought the 922 last week. I wish I would have talked to you before I purchased it.
Sorry, yeah, I got that. You could. I could have told you it was terrible.
Yeah.
And this has dual mics. The 920, which is the one I'm not using, has dual mics. You would think, oh, it's going to sound. It's worse. I'm like, what's the matter with these people? But
I mean, to be fair, you're getting those for the quality of the video, though. Anyway,
right?
True, but the $30 mic built in the C270 is like 10 times better, clearer than the $100 one. So I guess sometimes you don't get what you pay for, do you?
I would never use my Logitech 920, the microphones on it, because I have the Blue Yeti here on my desktop. But but my laptop, because the built-in camera on that is so bad, I would use the 920 for both audio and video.
Okay,
and and it's almost cringeworthy when you listen to the audio on it.
So the 922 mic sucks also.
Yeah, it's bad.
They're bad.
That's good.
Surprised, because that's a $100 webcam, you would think, but whatever.
As long as it has 4K, I'm good. They don't have 4K.
No.
4K. I don't need no 4K, man.
Is anybody actually streaming in 4K? Because I don't. No, none of us.
No.
I don't need to show my pimples in 4K, okay, man? No.
Yeah, I'm not trying to prove anything either. So
I don't need all those wires behind me to look even.
I wouldn't mind a 4K, like camera, like a Canon or a Panasonic 4K for like live vlogs. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, if you got an extra $1,000, $1,200 to buy a nice camera,
if I had it, I really would, and I would do a review and a report on it to tell other people. But I wouldn't do it for this. I would do it for like live on location, because then it comes in handy. I
do like a man on the street with toss.
Man on the street with toss, man. I would do that with that particular.
On the street.
On a sunny day with the natural, I think those would be toss on the street. Yeah, TOS. But so here I am talking to Tux Digitali.
And to make it interesting, you can have the TOS catalog boot interviews. Just interview them before they go in the boot.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a recursive acronym.
Well, I mean, that's where 4K comes in handy, but because sometimes I'll do the vlog in my car, with the old flip cam, but that's 1080p. But that actually has an excellent built-in mic. I was surprised. I figured, shoot, I'll do that in for my quick vlogs in the car, But yeah, most microphones, these cameras, they're god awful. And it's like there's no reason for it, But
Michael,
I'm just ranting.
There's two people with your sweatshirt.
I was going to say Michael Slipper.
Oh. Yeah. Nice.
There you go, Carl.
That is a fantastic sweatshirt.
Carl, I'll forgive the sweatshirt because you demand.
Forgive the sweatshirt. You mean give me one as well? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, that's not. No.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
No. You hear what you want to hear.
Your Christmas present, Rocco.
Nope. It got lost in the mail, I think.
All right.
I got a collection of shirts from vendors: Compaq, IBM, Sprint, Verizon, Bell South. I've lost track, but
I didn't hear Tux Digital in that list.
No.
Don't need any more.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny that I don't even have the shirt on.
Why don't you have the shirt on, Michael?
I sell merchandise. I don't have my own shirt.
I have it framed.
I have tons of shirts framed.
Yeah, of course.
You're so vain.
I don't have that sweatshirt. How do I get that sweatshirt?
tuxdigital.com/shirt.
Thank you, sir. So I set you up for that.
Exactly. I appreciate it.
You don't need to do that, Derek. He is plenty capable of doing it himself.
He's plenty good enough at doing that himself.
When I go to Destination Linux and get my mug, I'll go ahead and order the Tux Digital shirt.
I feel like I'm watching QVC tonight, man.
I would never advertise
the Linux version.
QVC doesn't have Destination Linux mugs.
I should do like a QVC host today. Today, exclusively, we have a quick special deal for you. Don't go away. It's this fabulous shirt from Tux Digitale.
You don't want to miss it because we're going to give you a special discount.
Only for this hour.
Like it normally runs at $750, but you can get it for 3 easy payments of $19.95 and one really, really complicated payment that you have to pay in doubloons, but it's worth it.
That's right.
Absolutely worth it.
For the special event for tonight only, as the master chef is cooking his special lasagna with vodka. No, but
so Rocco,
lasagna.
Lavagna. That sounds like a name. It's Lavagna OS.
Rocco, what else interests you about Elementary just besides the aesthetics of it, though? I am curious about that.
That's a good question.
To be honest with you,
perhaps.
Yeah, I like paint.
Pretty and simple.
No, it's one of those things. It's kind of similar to GNOME, where you have to give it that opportunity to win you over. Like they have a certain workflow that they have, and you accept it because you can't change it pretty much. You can't change it too much anyway. So you have to accept the same concept as GNOME, and I don't know. I almost want to give it that chance to try to like win me over.
Yeah. It's almost
kind of like trying a new dish, you know. Yeah. Hey, try this new Italian dish. It's got the special sauce. You might like it. Okay.
It's a walled garden, kind of like Mac. You know, you're not gonna do too much tweaking with it.
Yep.
Kind of like GNOME makes you got to get used to it and enjoy its workflow and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. And I did, and that's the thing. That's exactly what GNOME did well, and that's just. You're more or less forced to sit down and use it the way they want you to use it, and that was actually nice. You got to learn it, and it was like, wow, okay, yeah, I can do this.
You don't change GNOMe; GNOME changes you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No change me, man. No change. No change thoughts. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think it's about. I don't think it's about change as so much as that it's about learning to use things the way they're designed to be used. Like, okay, so you get a new phone and you go from, say, a Samsung to something else. I don't know what you'd go to, but if you went from the opposite to
Huawei Mate 10, of course.
They have their own way of doing the menus, doing the screens. So even though it's Android, they have their own way of doing it and their own look to it. So you're not going to change a Samsung back to what you used to use. You're going to use it, and you're either going to like it or you're not. But you're going to get used to it, and you're going to say, "Wow, this is not what I'm used to." But it's pretty
It's a learning process. Of course, with phones, you don't need extensions. That's the
True.
No,
you got a point there.
Well, I mean, yeah. To be fair, it's like when I get a new phone. If it doesn't have Nova Launcher, in 5 minutes it will.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Right.
And Android doesn't remove features.
I mean, they do totally do, but they do it in a way that people don't pay attention to it. Like there was this one thing they added in Android Oreo and they're going to make it so like much more powerful in the Android 9. But then they decided to lock it down entirely on Android 9 to make it essentially worthless to the people who are already using it in Oreo. And it's called a Stratum. And it's just like it's a theming system that goes down to the absolute core of the phone. so that you can change the notification tray. You can the colors, the background colors, the icons, everything. You can change absolutely everything in the theming, and they're taking that away. So that's fun.
All right.
Well,
So they're
I use Lineage OS. Lineage OS is good. It's very simple. It's fast, and it's got a really good menu without having to go through all these screens. Just scrolls down in a list. It's nice.
I have a question for you guys. If you had to pick one OS in 24 hours and that was it, it was your last choice, no hopping, it was out. Distro hopping was outlawed. What would you pick? I'm just curious.
Born to be a lawbreaker.
We're all going to go to the Capitol and pick it.
Me too. The one I'm on.
Debbie and none.
I mean,
so
I don't care as long as it has plasma. So like whatever.
All right, so it's Debbie and Ubuntu based. Okay, all right, that's good.
It's either Neon or Kubuntu. I don't care.
Okay. All right.
I was gonna say it'd probably be Ubuntu.
Okay.
I don't think I could make that choice.
What was if you had to? You had no choice.
The Rocco would have to call Dr. Vinny Boombatz and get his head examined, but no.
So I could either choose Ubuntu Mate that works really well and is boring a little bit.
Oh my God.
Or I could choose like no.
Okay, but wait.
And
you can install multiple operating systems.
You could take Ubuntu Mate, then jazz it up. It would take some time, but it
That's
can be
what
done.
I was just going to say. You can make
it done.
Pretty as you want. I don't know.
It can't. It's just not out of the box.
It depends on what your definition of pretty is. Okay, so yes, you can make it look good. All right, it's no question about it that you can make it look good, but you can't change the way it operates.
No.
So it's boring because it doesn't crash. Is that it?
Yes, that's right.
It's boring because it's stable.
I'm so used to that.
He needs a kernel panic every now and then.
I like to spice up my weekends with kernel panics, and
just one example. One example would be a full screen menu. You're not going to get it right now. You're not going to get a full screen menu in Mate, which is something that I would prefer.
Well, they're getting there. They got a dash that's coming out in 1804. So I mean, it's close.
Yeah, there's a full screen menu in 1804.
There is,
but we're talking like now. We're talking why I wouldn't choose it.
Toss's question was like you have to pick right now within 24 hours. Yeah. 1804 doesn't really count unless you're okay with bugs.
Well, so Rocco,
not okay with bugs.
Okay, so
1710 works. Nice.
So it works great. I can't complain about one thing about Mate except for I can't complain one thing about Mate the way it works. The only thing that I can complain about is the aesthetics with the icons not working right, the full screen menus not there, that kind of stuff. The way it looks, but it works perfectly.
Maybe you need to talk to somebody about a no mate, no mate. Put it all together.
If you're going to choose an operating system, you're probably better off to choose something that's stable, isn't it?
Well, did you, Barb? Did you hear? Did you hear the Ubuntu podcast? The first episode of this year, Martin talked about him looking at the way Mac actually runs like OS 10, and he said that he's trying to make the Cupertino layout work more like a Mac than it used to.
Yeah.
So
I missed it. I'll have to listen to it. They did 2 for this year? I lost
track. The other one just came out.
Okay.
The first one is the one he's referring to because it's the one that
the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I talked to Martin.
He also said that his goal originally was to make it just have it Mate as its own distro, not just a desktop. Yeah, that was what his goal was.
Yeah, that was interesting. So he doesn't want to be based. Didn't want to be based on Ubuntu, is that right, or was it something else? Or they just want their own base? Is that what they were talking about?
When was that?
Every time if you notice in here, Barb, every time there's an update coming through, and there was one just tonight, there's always an Ubuntu base update. In there lately. There's been a lot of those I've noticed coming through.
Well, there was even on just 1710. There was today.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. Today was one. I just did it just before we started the show.
Yeah, I did that just earlier.
What were you going to say, Mike?
I was just confused. Like, when did he say that?
In the
where did I see that? I can't remember.
He said that in the episode. in the first
No.
one for the new season.
Okay.
I don't remember that. I mean, I listened to it, but I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah,
that
I
seems
do
kinda
remember
awkward.
him saying that.
Wasn't-
Check it out.
I was sitting at a red light when I heard it.
He
I
wasn't
read it
using
somewhere.
Ubuntu in the first place anyway. Like he switched to using Ubuntu with Mate.
Right.
So that's kind of confusing to me.
I read it somewhere about Ubuntu Mate during the week somewhere. I don't know who was saying it, but I just read it. So
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm testing the new 1804 beta 1, and that new full screen menu you were talking about actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
It looks snappy. Yeah, you might like that, Rocco. Yeah, I mean, I haven't fully tested it. There's probably bugs, but it seems okay. Yeah.
That's the Mutiny one, right?
I think it's Mutiny. Yeah.
Mutiny,
I don't currently use that as my default panel, but I looked at it, testing it. Seems nice. Yeah, it's a nice little option. I mean, like addition. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cupertino stuff they're working on is really cool too. Like that the Mac the way that Mac handles virtual desktops is really cool, and it's actually kind of better than the way most Linux DAs do it.
Yeah,
and when he started talking about how they were going to make it work, I was like, oh, are you going to do the 3 gesture keys where you swipe it to then he actually goes and says that? I was like, perfect.
Oh, that would just be wonderful. That really would.
The only thing that Mac OS does properly is works thing.
Yeah, it's the trackpad.
Yeah.
No, I actually talked to him about what he was using to make it work. It was lib input or something, and he said he used it as he used lib input as a foundation and then built his own patches on top of it to make it work like that, which is really interesting because there's a package I thought that technically would do it, and I was just kind of like, hey, are you using this? He's like, kinda, but we're making it even better.
So, Barb, are you still using 1804 at the moment, Mate, or not?
I've been playing with it, but I couldn't use Zoom today. I was going to use it tonight.
So, on the panels, do they lock in? Do the icons lock in the panels? Because I noticed on the nightly build they seem to lock a bit better on the panels than they used to. Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to work pretty well.
Yeah. Okay. Because that was a bit of a frustrating thing to try and put. They seem to lock in a certain position now, whereas before they never used to do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You mean in 1804 because they work perfectly in 1710. Wherever I put it, it stays there, and then I lock it, and it stays.
Well, maybe it's the dock I'm thinking of, because I get confused when sometimes you've got the dock inside the panel. And then you've got the panel itself. So if you make your own panel, sometimes they can randomly just put themselves in any position rather than
and then what you've got to do is you actually have to go into the control center and save that once you get it set up the way you want it, and then wherever I have my icon set, and then I lock them. Then I go into the panel and into the control center. Mate tweak and save that panel.
Okay.
And then it saves it, and you don't have to worry about it. That's something you got to do, and that's always been that way.
Sure.
Well, I forgot one other thing that I like. Matt, you said about what would I like about Elementary besides the theming. Everything that I test, one of the tests that I do to see if it was going to work for me is and as silly as it sounds, I install Steam and boot up Rocket League, because every distro runs completely different, whether it works on the main screen or it pops up on the second screen. Like, for example, XFCE, I can't get it to run on the main screen. I just can't do it. It will not. Every time it starts up, it's going to pop over to that other screen, which drives me insane. Another problem, like, say, the regular Ubuntu or the GNOME versions, if I'm running Rocket League and I have Telegram open, I get a message the whole window either... it just takes it and moves it down 3 inches, and it'll sometimes come back up, and it'll sometimes stay there, which is really annoying. Other ones will completely minimize when I get a message through Steam. So all of these, well, when I tried Elementary, everything ran perfectly. So I was able to play Rocket League. All of my notifications in Telegram came over, overlaid the game, and yet never once minimized it or touched it or anything. So that is something that I forgot to say that I do like about Elementary.
So the moral is, if you try Elementary do not customize it out of the box. Leave it the way it is, and it'll probably work for you.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think
More or
you're
less.
right.
Okay,
Toss.
okay. That's the impression which is fine. That's not for me, but I think for a newbie, maybe that's the way to go, or one option. Just install it.
But that's
do the
what they're
updates.
trying to
go.
say. If you look
Yeah.
at it, that it is, you're really not supposed to customize it.
Yeah.
Well,
If you're
you
gonna
can add PPAs, you can do all this
Right.
stuff, but
But I
you
mean,
run
I'm
the risk
saying
of
like the look
losing
and
that
stuff,
stability.
too.
That's the potential running into issues versus say a KDE or Ubuntu Mate or whatever. Right? Yeah.
Basically,
Just
once
leave
you
the
start,
theme.
once you start customizing, you run the risk of breaking it, and that becomes the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rocco, if you're going to run, sorry, Seb.
No, I was just going to say, I ran elementary for a whole week, having done every tweak that I needed to do it, and I was running my ETS, and I installed programs, because the icon side of things doesn't really bother me. It's just something you click, and 2 seconds later, you don't see it anymore. And it ran perfectly well. I ran into no issues when I'd tweaked it as much as I needed to get it. So it will work just as well as Ubuntu, as well as Peppermint, as well as MX. You just can't change much of the theming. But if you
Is it as heavy as GNOME? I can't remember.
No.
Okay. All right.
It runs. It just runs, and it just looks.
Okay.
And it's the only distribution I've ever seen where every window you open, apart from Google, which just does its own thing, has the right theme on it. Yeah? Every window, whether it's a native application or not, they seem to be able to get the theming to work. So I was opening up QMMP, the music player. I was opening up Steam. I was opening up QBitTorrent, and everything just matched and everything just flowed, and it never failed me once.
Okay. That's the thing about this. When you talk about every distro, it's like you said earlier, Rocco, there's always something. If you could take all these little somethings and put them all together into one, can you imagine the distro you could have?
I just thought of the Saturday Night sketch. It's always something. Rosanna, Dan. I know somebody maybe right, Barb. You remember that?
So my question, Rocco, my question is: if you're gonna use elementary, are you going to wait until number 5 is out?
There are so many good changes coming out in 5. I almost want it now. They don't have a date for it. It's just when it's ready. It's definitely going to be after the 1804 release.
Okay.
But
their
there's no date.
Usually like a month to 2 months after.
Okay.
Basically the same reschedule that Mint has, where they don't really have a schedule, but they much do.
Usually a few months after. That's what I figure. Yeah, I think Mint's usually around the June time. I think.
Yeah, that's roughly what they'll do as well. Mm-hmm. They might do like a June, July, because they sometimes go a little later, but not the same.
Yeah, they just got their own schedule, right? Mint does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would love to wait. Go ahead, Zeb.
I was going to say that's when Peppermint 9 will be out, around about the end of May, beginning of June.
When's the Reachband coming?
Or is it a remix?
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
That was that me?
What happened?
What happened? Who did it?
Sharing screen.
Somebody's sharing screen.
Somebody's sharing their screen.
Yeah.
Somebody's running KDE.
That's not me.
Everyone should be running KDE.
That's Carl.
Everything.
If you see open box, that's me. But
no, this is not me.
Okay.
Carl, are you running KDE?
Mm-hmm. Solid.
I got my
Are you?
chipmunk wallpaper back.
Nice.
How are you liking this?
Michael's
It's all Michael's
Michael's
fault.
gone. He'll be back.
Plasma.
The moment he sees all you have to do is put up plasma, and Michael just shows up.
I mean, yeah.
To answer your question, Colin, I would love to wait for Juno, but it's so far away, dude. I mean, like
he wants to hop now.
That's a couple months, man. I don't even. I don't even stay on a distro for a couple months. I mean,
look at it this way, though, Rocco, because if you load up with elementary now and you suddenly get a bad taste in your mouth or hate it, you may never try the next one. You know, I mean, there's stuff coming down the pike. So
it's almost like, for those of us that distro hop, and I used to in the past, it's like to use an analogy, it's like women have to buy and try on different shoes and clothes. We have to try different distros as guys, and maybe girls do. That's what It's like, what's the new color flavor of the month? Oh, I got to try that on, or try this or try that beta, But
Rocco, have you ever heard of the Nomad desktop?
Nomad.
It is based on KDE Plasma, but it resembles Pantheon in the way it's set up, the look and feel of it.
Is that
really?
Yeah.
Nitrix?
Yeah, that's the one Nitrix uses. Unfortunately, Nitrix is complete garbage as a distro. That's the one that I told you, like, removes PPAs and snaps and stuff from their Ubuntu base and their software center.
Do that?
Yeah, well, you can reinstall it. I'm sure you could. Fix
but why
it.
do they do that?
Because he loves app images. The main dev, he loves app images. He makes their software center nothing but app images. There's about 200 app images in it.
Well, maybe that's the future. I don't know. That and snaps. I don't know.
And those 200 app.
There's a challenge for all of us.
Yeah. Right.
Can we get a minimalist distro and run everything on either snaps, flat packs, or app images?
Not
Can
today.
we do that?
Nope.
Not today.
No,
Some, but not totally. That's not there yet. Maybe 10 years from now.
There's a significant portion that the answer is yes, but there's also many that it's no.
I mean, I use Kden Live as an app image. Spotify as a snap.
I've
installed.
I usually install Discord, I think, as a flat pack. I install GIMP as a snap usually. If
they
it's
work.
not
There's nothing wrong with them, but there's not enough of a catalog yet.
To completely replace using it, if you want to use only those universal package formats, there's so many packages that are not supported that are kind of fundamental for some people.
It's going to be
my text editor is not available in any of them. So
if that's all we had to choose from, I go back to Windows.
Vim is not available as a snap?
I don't use Vim.
Oh, okay.
So I seen somebody ask a question during the week. I was saying, why would you have snap packages on an Arch-based distro? I don't know where I've seen it. Must have been in somebody's comments on their YouTube.
Because they're more stable?
Simple. 3 letters. AUR.
It is a good question. It is a good question because they do seem to have just about everything on the planet in the AUR.
I just thought hey, you are stupid. Hey,
what's the advantages? What's the advantages of having snaps and flat packs in the
rollback?
The snaps themselves are contained. They're confined. They have security features. They have reliable updating. You're not being dependent on a maintainer to have application in a repository or in the AUR or whatever. You can the developer has control over the updates and controls what the best stable version they can have to give you versus also having a beta option. Right. You can do multiple channels.
I think they're the future.
And you can have multiple versions too.
Yeah.
Anything else, Michael?
Every version installed.
Anything else?
Yeah. They work on other distros too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Manjaro
dealing with that kind of stuff.
Okay, man.
Manjaro is the one that does that, right? Add snaps support.
I think they did.
Yeah. I don't know if they do it out of the box, but I have installed snaps on it.
I think snaps
EB in the house
are. I think they have the most potential. They're not ready yet, of course, but they have the most potential. Because app images are the most ready now to use, but have glaring problems that are not ready for the future stuff. So
the thing with snaps is Canonical is behind it. There's nobody really pushing app images.
Well, I wonder why Kden Live picked the app image versus a snap.
Because there was no maintainer for snap.
Okay.
It's more simple to make an app image now anyway, because the snap and the flat packs are not really technically ready in a lot of ways. Where app images provide everything that they want, even though there's some aspects that they don't offer. Like there's no security mechanism in app images. So there's and the updating system with app images is pretty minimal. Like they're working on making a better version, but it's minimal right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the best app that I use is Etcher from the app image, and the best update it gives you is, "Hey, there's a new version."
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
it.
Go and download it.
There are some that do it properly, where there actually is an updates mechanism inside of it, but for the most part, they don't. Because there is an experimental update system, but very few have it. Whereas with snaps and Flatpaks, the update system is built into the framework itself. Okay. So
yeah. You see very few like mainstream apps that are app images, but like snaps. I mean, you got Firefox doing snaps, you've got GIMP doing snaps. You know, when you look at all the app images out there, most of them are programs you've never even heard of.
Oh,
yeah, Kdenlive and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Kdenlive being the exception. Yeah.
Right. There's a few.
Didn't work well for me, the app image. I must say, I tried it, but
of what?
It was Kdenlive.
Did you use the stable app image or the beta one?
I don't know, Michael. I downloaded something. I don't know.
There's two
Why
different.
Does that sound like a bad end user?
Kdenlive has a stable version.
Kdenlive is
wow.
Kdenlive has a bad reputation for its old issues of crashing.
It can be buggy.
Those issues were deserved in the 7.0.
Yeah, for a long time ago, they were totally deserved. It was buggy and
I can make Kdenlive crash on demand.
Yeah, I can probably still do it, but
just saying.
I have a muscle memory now of Control S every 10 seconds because Kdenlive used to crash so much. And I still do it. It's just not necessary anymore.
So
it is. If you want to undo things, it is.
So
I do right the first time.
Well,
so basically, we can say the same thing about OpenShot then.
Yeah. No, OpenShot's way worse. Way worse. Oh my god.
No. I mean about the crashing. You have to control S anytime
you can't say the same thing because Kdenlive doesn't crash as much anymore. OpenShot still crash-tastic.
OpenShot will probably crash before you hit Control S.
That is true.
OpenShot may not even open.
No, with OpenShot, you click File, Add New, Crash.
They should just open and shut is more like it.
They should just call it Open Crash. But
hey, will you guys stop being so rude? EB is in the house.
Oh,
g'day, EB.
Trucking with Linux.
What's up, man?
Kdenlive made me lose more hair this week. Kdenlive, I'm telling you. Made me lose even more.
Slow, Steve.
What's up, Stevie? Hey. What's up?
I'm very, very good, all. It's lovely to see you all here. Barbara, lovely to see you back on the show.
Yes,
girl.
I'm there.
Lovely to see some colour as opposed to these dulcet tones as usual.
Thank you.
But apart from that, so what we were discussing this week, I'm sorry I didn't get up till 4 a.m. I'm a bit of a slacker this week.
Yeah, I'll say you are slacking.
Bit of a slacker.
That's why we can't have nice things in Linux.
We're discussing elementary OS.
Really?
We were?
Yeah,
I guess
we were.
Because Rocco's looking at making a jump to it.
Yeah, I am seriously considering jumping to it.
Wow, what a choice. Great choice, Rocco. Great choice, man.
Well, I still, the only reserve I have is the whole 1604 base because I really do have some issues with 1604.
Yep.
But
Rocco, what issues did you have? You keep saying that, but I don't remember you saying what the issues were.
Well, to be honest with you, Barb, I don't have them all listed and I can't remember all of them. I just know I went through them when I was on Ubuntu. Printer's one of them.
Yeah,
Printer's the one.
There was something to do with Destination Linux and the video recording or something that I couldn't do on 1604 because I was running Unity and I was fine with Unity, but I kept running into these small things that I couldn't do. I can't do that. And then you'd say, okay, no big deal. But then you'd run into more and more and more. And after a while, it's like, why am I even running this? Mm-hmm. So, but I don't have them all listed. I didn't.
Oh, okay. No, I was just curious.
My memory is not that great, so.
Maybe you should take notes, Rocco.
Yeah, I should. Simple note, huh, Zeb? Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I was going to say, there is a certain script that installs that there, Rocco.
There is.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Simple Note. Can you get that? Can you put that on elementary?
I've installed it, but I've still never used it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
I
I've
use
been using
Post-it
it.
notes. You know, I'm the old-fashioned type. Post-it
I use
notes.
those also.
Hey, Toss, they don't work any better than Simple Note if you don't use them. So
It's hard to have a good memory when you're distro hopping and you're trying
There's
to
my
figure out
Post-it note.
which
Okay, that's
distro
my
has
note.
the problem.
There's my note.
Have you heard of standard notes?
standard notes.
Cherry tree. Cherry tree.
Standard notes is kind of like
I
it's like
love
Simple
Cherry
Note,
Tree.
but it's self-hosted. Pretty good.
It's a good name, Standard Notes.
Yeah.
I'm
I
still
love
playing
Cherry
around
Tree.
with.
That is just
Cherry
Yeah, I'm still-
tree is a really good app. That one.
yeah.
I like Cherry Tree except for the whole like desktop only aspect to it.
Well, the other problem with it is that it is basically only for Linux and Windows. They don't have a Mac
know
version.
that.
So I had to
that.
use
Yeah,
Play
yeah,
on
they do.
Mac to get it to work on my MacBook Pro.
Oh.
Play on
And that
Mac.
was
What,
kind
what
of
is that?
That's a little redundant.
What is Play on Mac?
Play on Mac is the Mac version of Play on Linux,
Oh,
which is like
Oh, right.
that's
so you
bad.
have to use the Windows version, and
That's bad.
get it to work. And it worked on my one MacBook Pro, but it didn't work on the MacBook Air. Don't ask me why. I have to play with it. I really wish they had a Mac version. They do have a Windows version.
I think Simple Note is great. It's not the program itself that's bad. It's just the idea of I won't use it to its potential. I mean, I won't use it, and then it's kind of worthless if you don't use it. So
You'll use it, then you've forgotten you've used it. So you don't look at your notes.
Exactly.
I
find it very, very handy because I can put things in it from the desktop, and then when I'm out someplace and I have my phone, I have the phone app, and it works perfectly.
Google Keep.
I use note-taking apps on my phone, but on the desktop, I just open up a text editor, write something down, save a text file. Yeah, I never even bother with like a clipboard manager or anything.
Create documents, save document.
Right.
That's what I do.
Well, for me, it's perfect because I opened up the text editor to make a note, and then by the time I've opened the text editor, I forgot what the note was. So I just don't it works for me. It's perfect.
So, Derek, you're not concerned about having it on mobile or anything like that? Like you're not concerned about the cross-platform thing of taking notes in a text editor?
Well, I mean, it would be nice, but I mean, if you're doing cloud-based, I guess it doesn't matter. Or you guys do cloud-based note-taking apps, or
I do.
Yeah.
Simple Note, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But no, I'm not concerned about having it on my desktop. Now, on my phone, it's important because you're on the go when you take notes on the phone. Like you think of something and you're out and about, and you type it.
I use voice recorder.
Right.
I
don't listen to myself.
Really?
I don't like hearing my own voice.
Turn it on real quick. Okay,
That
Snapperhead.
is
Don't forget to buy milk, and all that. But it works. Yeah.
That is the self-torture of a YouTube creator where you have to edit yourself and listen to yourself over and over and over.
I could not stand it.
I'm with Barb on that. But when I do a note, I never do the microphone because I don't walk around talking to myself like a lot of people do in public. That's,
I know, they look so strange.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder, is their phone even working? I bet some of them haven't even paid the bill. They're pretending to be talking to someone half the time when they're walking.
I've done that before where just messing with someone.
Yeah.
I say something like, "Oh, you talking to me?" It's like, "Oh no," I'm just like, "It's like here," and then I'd look, turn, and there's nothing there. And then just go like,
it's an implant.
Show me the money.
You don't know how many times.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times I've said something to somebody, whether it's hi or like, "What'd you say?"
Yeah.
And they ain't talking to me; they're talking on the phone.
Yeah.
One time I was standing on the line in the grocery store, and there was a man in front of me who was talking to his lawyer about how he was going to screw over his wife and their divorce. And he didn't, and he's yelling and screaming. And it's like, how does he know? He doesn't know. Maybe I know his wife. Maybe the cashier knows his wife.
They don't think about it maybe after the fact. They're like, holy cow, what did I just say in public? But
oops.
Yep.
Now, I have actually caught people walking around pretending to talk on their cell phones, like Michael was saying. When you look at their phone, it's not even powered on, but they're walking around. And I'm like, what are they doing? Who are they putting on this show for? So.
I'll use people to know that they're actually talking to themselves.
There's something wrong. I'll use a Bluetooth in the coffee shop, in the car, but not really walking. I mean, that's kind of rude, really, if somebody wants to say hi or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's funny how you see them walking around with a phone and they've got phoner's neck. Do you know what I mean? So they're like, like this. And I'm just thinking, I can imagine in another 30 years, all the hospitals are going to be.
Yeah, and then people get what used to be called gamekeeper's thumb. They now have text thumb.
Text thumb.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's
this.
Yeah. I do not text with my thumb. Thumbs are.
Wow.
I was at work the one day and I'm texting, right, and I'm doing it like this. And
that's how I text.
And the guy's looking at me. He's like, "You don't text much, do you?"
I mean, that is a very accurate question. I mean, I think that's probably true.
I text with one thumb.
I don't always do it that way, but I just happened to be doing it that way that time, and it was like,
No, I do it that way 100% of the time because I don't text much, and I don't use my thumbs. I don't know how the kids do it. I've just never learned it.
Derek, you're getting old. You're showing your age.
Well, yeah, I mean,
anybody swipe?
Well, you realize there's voice-activated texting too. I mean, did you guys know you can voice?
I don't trust that voice stuff though. Every time I do, it says something vulgar. Even if I talk slow and one word at a time, it always comes out the wrong way. So
maybe I look at it first.
It's like some of the autocorrect.
And then send.
Autocorrect is a nightmare.
Yeah, I have sent some
like
of the most bizarre.
There is a keyboard that I think is absolutely the best keyboard. I'm going to tell you about it.
Which one are your two on your desk?
It's not okay. A phone keyboard that is the best. It's called Swipe with a Y, and it is absolutely the best. It is the most accurate swiping gesture typing ever. It invented the idea of gesture typing. It was purchased by Nuance, which is the company that makes dragging dictation. So the voice activated dictation is actually fantastic and it's downright amazing. And they killed it.
No.
Why did they kill it, Michael?
Because they don't care. Basically, Nuance said that it's not in their interest to continue it. And I was like, you took the only good keyboard on Android and killed it. Then I switched to SwiftKey. Like, okay, I'll try. Let's play with this new one. It's got to be. It's awful. Like comparison to Swipe, it's just like, why would you do this to me? Why do you hate?
So they gave their customers the middle finger gesture. Got it. Okay.
Yes. In fact,
so what happens?
I was a pro user. I can technically still use it, but if I get a new phone, it's impossible to install from the Play Store now. So because they were just
I was going to say, Michael, you do realize the fact that SwiftKey is a Microsoft product, right?
Right.
That explains why it's
garbage. Yeah,
that explains why it's garbage.
Well, it's because it's
they're all bad except for Swipe. Swipe had so many awesome features that people didn't even know about. Like it's the only...
I remember Swipe. It was good.
The gesture thing is great, and it's the most accurate gestures. But that's not even what makes it amazing. Like the drag and dictation part makes it amazing. But then you also have it's the only keyboard that has shortcut system, where you can actually control A, control C, control V type stuff inside of the keyboard, where none of the rest can do that.
Yeah, I used that.
Fantastic.
A while ago.
Speaking of Linux.
Yeah.
Hey, Android's based on Linux, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, Android's based on Linux.
Yeah, but it's not GNU/Linux.
All right. Well, this is not Big Daddy GNU/Linux Live.
I'm going to change it.
All of a sudden you just see...
It'll be like Biddlegoo or something. Yeah.
Bediggle. It'll be Bediggle.
So EB, what distros have you been looking at lately?
Oh my word! Don't go there. I've gone. So as you know, peppermint's my baby, but I'm actually not on the peppermint this week.
Oh, you're hurting Zeb.
I know.
I'm not talking to him.
Zeb's got the right option. Don't worry about that. He's having it live.
So what are you using?
Wow, he just shut off his video.
Well,
Wow.
Look,
There you go, Steve, right there.
Look.
Perfect.
Well, as you know, I love LXDE. And we all know LXDE's about done because LXQ's supposedly, allegedly going to replace it. But I'm actually on Manjaro LXDE. And it's just mind-blowingly good for gaming. I want to emphasize that, gaming. And it's just the best distro I've ever had for gaming. It's just fantastic and worth it.
That's surprising.
So easy. So easy. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So,
but the number of times I've distro hopped, it won't even install on my machine. It gets stuck on TLP startup shutdown.
Then install it in non-UEFI mode if it's a UEFI boot problem.
Any mode, UEFI BIOS, it just sits there on TLP startup shutdown and doesn't move anywhere else.
Do you know what, Zeb? Being serious, all joking aside, that's such a shame because it's a wonderful experience, dude. You love it. It's peppermint on steroids. Seriously, I joke you not. I joke.
I thought you were liking the Arch merge though for the game, the LT.
Yeah, no, I tried Arch merge last week. I tried MX17. What else did I try? Manjaro XFCE. Quite a few. Arch merge was good, but I just can't find a distro that comes even close to Manjaro for gaming. I want to emphasize that. Just for gaming. Nothing else, just for gaming. It's just spider silk. It's amazingly good. So if any of you are looking for a gaming platform, now the reason I've come back to it is because originally it's a community maintained distribution. And the guy that originally maintained it said, do you know what, I've had enough. And this is the problem with community-maintained distros. Here today, gone tomorrow. But two guys from the Manjaro community have now picked it back up. It's bang up to date. It's lightning fast. And it's one of them little unsung diamonds that, you know, nobody really pays any attention to. And then you put it on your PC and it just rips the socks off you and you think, wow, that is good.
Right.
Well,
Manjaro's
platform is Windows. So
yeah, Manjaro is interesting because they've got like 12 different desktop and window manager versions. But really, if you look at their main page, all they focus on is the XFCE edition and their KDE edition. That's really the only two that they kind of push.
Officially,
didn't you use Manjaro back a ways?
Yeah, I'm still on Manjaro.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yep, and it was awesome. I just don't really care for being on Arch. That's all.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's not for everybody.
Arch has there's too much uncertainty there at times to be a stable platform, which Rocco needs.
I could easily. It was Manjaro GNOME is actually pretty good. Interrogos GNOME is really good. I could run either of them and be perfectly fine, except for the fact that I don't want to take the risk of being on Arch.
I remember the first time I did a full install of Manjaro, Sparatry, he challenged me. So I did. I installed it. So I think I enabled the AUR, and then the warning came up. Warning, this big, look out.
No,
this can be dangerous. So I did a code review.
I remember when you did that.
I think I said something like, now be careful when trying Manjaro. It's dangerous. Luckily, I pulled out my portable fire extinguisher. I said, luckily I have this. That's battery. You do not need a fire extinguisher to test Manjaro.
You know what's funny about Arch? Arch, you go to their forums and everybody warns you, don't use the AUR. But then when you ask everybody, they all download packages. Everyone uses it. Yeah.
Yep.
So it depends. It depends on what is in the AUR and why it's there. Like there are some packages that are not a part of the repo because it fits better to be in the AUR because it's more tailored to compiling and stuff like that.
It's the unstable.
In some cases, it makes more sense to be there, and sometimes it doesn't. So, like, if your application you want to use is better as a Git instead of as a package, it makes more sense to use the AUR for the Git version.
Well, maybe I don't know.
When I was using Arch, and I mean, I'm part of the Interrogos team, so the Arch is kind of like one of those things where I really, 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 really like it, and then it bites me a few times, and it's kind of like it's hard to justify dealing with it over and over. But the AUR is kind of like those things where it either works beautifully or just utter garbage. So you can find applications that you will install and they will just destroy things.
But that's what makes it interesting. It keeps your computer guessing. You never know what's about to happen. You know,
that attitude, the computer guessing. That attitude.
I would not consider driving you insane interesting, but
that's the spirit. That is the archway.
That's not. No, that's not.
Keep it simple.
It wasn't
Chip.
for me.
They don't believe in the KISS principle.
Chip is here, and he says he's using Manjaro.
They have a different interpretation.
And he uses the AUR and has never had any issues at all. That's fake news, Chip.
Yep.
Can't tell me that you've used Manjaro and AUR if you've never had any issues ever. Come on.
Because he's never installed anything.
He may not have had them because he doesn't. If you don't turn the machine on, you're not going to have any issues, right?
Yeah,
or if you don't install anything, you don't. Have
right. Yeah.
Well, let me ask everybody here a question.
Okay.
Have any of you had a problem with the AUR or a PPA in Ubuntu as far as any kind of security issue or anything that really caused harm to your computer?
Yeah,
no, me neither.
No.
Never. Yeah,
many times. The list is long and distinguished.
Really?
Yeah, many times.
No, but that's a UK thing, man. I mean, that doesn't include.
Well, either that or it's just
or we don't. You're not even aware of it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find the one must endeavour to attain button while I was downloading the PPA. But
AB, are the PPAs different over there than they are here, or what?
I mean, I have to say, most of the PPAs I had problems with were Russian.
What do you think about that?
Oh my God!
Yeah, don't download those.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had package from the official Arch repositories. That's
Russian. Now I get it. So the UK's United Kremlin. Now I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Chip says, I promise I never had issues. Now watch, Carmen. Yeah, we know, right? That's an Italian thing. Yeah, okay.
Well, I've installed packages from the AUR that didn't work or were buggy. Same thing with PPAs, but I've never had anything that actually really caused harm to my system.
Well,
so that was the thing. The warnings are a little overstated.
Don't ever recall a PPA coming up with a look out. You'll install this, you'll blow up your house or something.
Yeah.
You know,
and I've never had a problem with installing something and then it. Like trashing the machine.
Yeah. I'll give you the most common one, and you guys have already ripped it and discussed it. OpenShot.
Yeah.
Yep.
When OpenShot released the 4.1 version with the one with the black screen on it, oh my God, I had that come down and it trashed the machine.
Never had luck with those. It looks nice, but it doesn't work.
Horrendous.
Doesn't work.
There are some applications that are in the AUR that can break things, but there's also packages in the official Arch repositories that can break things. So like this, I've never had an AUR totally break my system because I know how to revert it back. But
yeah,
like I've actually had Arch repositories like push me packages that obliterated my entire system to the point where yes, I could fix it. I would rather spend 20 minutes installing a distro than just spending days fixing the mess they did.
Right.
Because they destroyed at least 200 packages, and it was like, no.
Yeah. It's too much of a mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference between. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Matt. Go ahead.
I don't mind talking over you. I'll do it for you.
We know Michael.
No, I was just saying that's kind of the difference between when you think about Windows and Arch, though. Even at that, I mean, because if you think about it, they're kind of the same. Windows, the way it operates now, you never know if it's going to break it or not. But at least here with Linux or Arch, you could fix it. For Windows, you can't do anything. You're kind of
Arch, you can turn off the updates and choose not to. In Windows, just kind of updates whenever it wants to. Right.
Well, and that's the thing. Even if you shut off, went into the registry and got rid of all the telemetry and that, because just clicking those buttons off, they got everybody believing that you could just click them off and it's not there. You have to go into the registry and take out a few things, but the next time they run an update, they're all right back again. So it's not worth the effort.
Well, I've never had a problem with. I've been running. I also use Gecko Linux, the Tumbleweed, the rolling release, and when it's done updates, I mean, something once in a while breaks, but then an hour or two later, they have a fix for it. But it doesn't trash the machine.
Yeah.
And it just, everything else still works. All the normal stuff, just still works.
I think, being brutally honest, I think the thing that trashes the machines the most is the users.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the biggest error problem is,
how many times have we all sat there, looked at the screen, don't press the enter key. Your machine's just destroyed. And you sit there and you look at it and you go, really? Why have you done that to me?
Well, I tell you what really breaks the rolling releases. If you go like 2 months without updating, that'll break it. Then you get 600 packages need updating. One of them's the kernel. Don't update that thing. Just stop updating.
Right. Well, I have 233 updates right now, ready to update in KDE Neon. I haven't updated yet, so
that's going to take a minute.
So I've been trying to finish some projects before I updated, just in case, because there was some weird flukes that I had with some packages, and I didn't want to just risk it. So I made some copies, and I currently have 604 waiting for me.
Wow, that's great.
Good luck. I hope you have a backup.
I'm backing up everything that matters. I did that today, and I almost updated before my live stream. I was like, probably shouldn't do that.
Don't do
that. Twice. This week I thought about updating, and it was like always right before the podcast or right before something. I'm like, nah, better not.
Exactly.
Just err inside of caution there, Rocco.
Yeah.
I've never had Neon break updates for me before, except for like the one right before this one. I had an issue where it said, it was like, okay, we're updating, and then it like crashed after 10 seconds and said, okay, you're updated. Like, no, I'm not. Like, I can guarantee you didn't know everything in 10 seconds and install it. No, but you're still telling me that it's updated. So I'm going to wait until there's a full system update. And then now there's like 3 and I haven't done it yet.
There was probably a problem updating the package manager or something if it was crashing
like that.
It was
a Discover issue.
Yeah.
Really? Discover have an issue?
Discover crash? No way. Come on, dude.
I know. It was the first time it ever actually crashed in that particular situation before. So that's why I was more annoyed. I was like, they said that 5.12 was the most stable version they've ever had, and they're actually comfortable with shipping it with a lot of different distros. And I was like, fantastic, I'm going to go get it. And it crashed before I got it. Okay.
So I don't like Discover.
Is KDE taking after OpenShot?
No. They fix crashes.
No. Saying that this is the most stable version we've ever had, and you open it and it crashes.
Well, I mean, this is the first time it ever crashed, whereas OpenShot crashes, I think, every time I've ever used it. So I think it's like as far as the terminology is pretty much the same. It's just the Discover people, like, or for Plasma people, have like made some mistakes along the way, whereas the OpenShot are just in denial. So.
Actually, Michael, I have to say, in OpenShot's defense, it's a very good program if you install it correctly. 99.9% of Windows users don't install it correctly.
If you have to, if there is an asterisk that says you have to install it correctly, it's not a very good installer.
Mm-hmm.
No, before you install OpenShot, you have to ensure that you've installed both Inkscape and Blender. Most people don't do that because the core of the program requires both of those other programs' elements to function properly.
Well, then they should say that.
That's a bad.
They should say that.
Thank you for reminding me why I don't use OpenCrash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they should say that, or they should install those parts. If you don't have them installed.
It's like Scrabble used to. You had to load the Ghost script first before you could use it a while back.
But nobody tells you that.
But it told you that.
Right. But OpenShot should tell you that you have to install these before.
Right.
And if they don't, then they're just pretty crappy.
It should just disable those features if it requires other applications to.
I had no idea it needed that.
I didn't either. I don't use it. I don't have it on my.
Like, I know the title system uses Blender to do the motion graphics titles and stuff.
Yeah, but just to render, it doesn't need Blender.
No, but it does need Inkscape because all the titles themselves, forget the animated titles, just a basic strip of text on screen is rendered by Inkscape. So, of course, most people load it up, go and stick a title in. They've not installed Inkscape or OpenShot.
I'll stick with Kdenlive. It's one complete package and done. Done.
Don't get me started about Kdenlive. That's about as stable as a Russian larder.
Oh, come on, mate. It's fine.
Really?
The app image. The app image is fine.
Kdenlive, strong Russian editor.
when have you last time you tried it though? It's, like, it used to be a problem, but now it's fantastic.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Wait, are you using the UK version of Kdenlive or the main version?
Yeah, EB here, coming live from London grad. Welcome to Kdenlive.
Oh, you're on a roll tonight.
No,
EB. Just render everything in PTV and it's all good.
Yeah.
Just use FFmpeg on the command line.
That would be great. Yeah, I can't wait to try that.
The best thing about FFmpeg is if you try to learn FFmpeg.
Does anybody remember that YouTuber that used to do that live on screen, and it used to look so cool back in the day? And his name, if I remember right, was Oh Hey It's Lou. It was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And he always used to have his little FFmpeg windows, and it just used to look so cool as he was like, videos.
I quite often wonder what happened to Oh Hey It's Lou.
He kind of got burned out on it, I think, because he was talking.
Oh, hey, he's gone. I don't know.
Yeah. I think somebody ordered him a caddy trunk. Toss, do you want to expand on that?
No, Lou was okay. I never had a chance to talk, but Lou, hey, it was Lou. Big Lou was okay. Okay, don't worry.
He was a bodybuilder, I think, in real life.
Yeah.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was soft spoken too. He was nice. Yeah, he was easy.
Yeah, he seemed like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he made some good stuff. Like, but as far as FFmpeg, I was helping someone learn how to do the encoding for the command line for FFmpeg, and they were like, "Why is this breaking?" I was like, "Oh, you see how this one particular piece is in this location? You have to swap them, otherwise the whole thing breaks." For no apparent reason. It's the same command. It's just that the order is so incredibly specific that it, like, learning FFmpeg is learning an entire new operating system essentially, because you have to learn absolutely everything from scratch. So yeah, it's actually interesting to see people use it.
Now, Steve, this question for you, probably maybe more so, Steve, because you just had to do some correcting the other day on your I don't know if it was ETS or whatever or ATS. You switch mods around by priority. I mean, how do you really know? I know that they affect it, but how do you really know, other than when it crashes the game, what's causing it and what should be rearranged and things like that? I was curious because that's something I never thought much about that was that important. I thought maybe it was just a preferential thing versus actually affecting the game. But it makes sense now because that, like the snow mod you had in there, that's huge rendering.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very, very simple, Joe. All you've got to do is, after your game's crashed, if you go into your share/ETS2 directory, you'll see in there's a load of dump text files. So every time the game crashes, it creates a dump file. And the basic rule of thumb is, whenever you're doing any list of mods, you should have your map mods at the bottom. Next comes all your cosmetic and silly little mods, engine sounds, etc. And then right at the top, you should have all your graphics and your sound effects mods. That's the basic rule of thumb. But of course, the problem is, even following that, you can still have one mod that doesn't like another.
Yeah. And the worst part is if you get a bunch of mods in there that you really like, and all of a sudden they decide they're not going to support them no more, and then next, that's kind of disappointing.
The worst thing is you just get a really nice build with a huge list of mods, and you're really happy with it, and then ETS go and release a game update, and half of them don't work. And you think, really? But it's what it is.
And it crashes, kind of like I think Rocco's about ready to.
I'm ready to crash right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
So
sent that message. I'm done.
Last word, Barb. Last word.
Last word. Oh, I'm gonna try elementary.
You're gonna try elementary. I love it.
Yes, I am. It's downloaded. I'm gonna try it.
Nice. Well, before I forget, because I will if I don't say it right now, Chip's last word was Manjaro and the AUR rock. Last word.
Don't forget to watch a new episode of Destination Linux on Monday. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, agreed. Joe?
If you're happy with about the same word I did last week, I still believe in it. If you're happy with what you're on, stick with it.
What if you're not happy?
Then
do what Rocco does.
Colin?
Bulk installs this week.
Bulk installs.
How many?
I changed my. I had 4 partitions, and I've wiped that clear, and I've done 8 partitions on the laptop. So.
Colin, there's a hotline for you.
There's an app for that.
Derek?
Well, in the last 2 hours of this stream, I think I've decided next week I'm going to be on Annex. Getting rid of Manjaro, going Annex. So
we'll be waiting for the video.
Yeah.
Well, if I don't make it, you know it didn't go good.
Okay. Michael?
touchdigital.com/shirt.
Yes. Because we just need more of those around.
Yes, you do.
Matt?
We all do.
Check out Das Geek's channel where I actually do a collab with him this week.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Is that out now?
I don't know if he's put it up yet, but it's going to be about our top 5 favorite games on Linux.
Cool. We'll be looking for it. Toss?
Yeah.
TooksDigital/Vane.
I mean, it's going to record. It's going to just forward to another page that says you're not wrong.
Yeah, fake. EB.
Tux Digital /Ubuntu. Live from Moscow in Russia. It's the only 5-hour distro. All right, Michael.
If I can remember all of that, we'll see.
All right, so my last word is Elementary OS. Check it out on Destination Linux Monday.
Fantastic.
Sounds like a plan.
Peace, guys.
Thanks for everybody showing up.
Everybody, take it easy. Keep
See you
well.
guys.
Later, guys.